Now, what are you doing today? What's going on? Issues with brakes. Brake problems. This was very scary. My brakes quit working immediately. Look what happened. Look at that. Check your flex hoses when you have your brakes done. These ones were actually looking a little bad, and I have brand new ones, but look at it, popped right through, and this could have been really bad on a mountain road going down a hill, and no brakes. It would have been like Rockford. They cut my brake lines. Look, sabotage. Hey, Mo, it's been sabotuged, as Curly would say. Why, you moron, why didn't you change that earlier? Mallet head, see, when they start looking like that, then they can look like the other side. So last time I did my brakes, it would have been a good idea to change those. And I actually did. I bought 2 brand new ones, but should have put those on before I died. Excuse me. I had to go, the parts I had were the wrong ones, so it took an extra hour. Got me the right ones, I put those in there. And the part I wanted to show you, let's see, I just put a little cap over there so all the fluid would run out. And the master cylinder is empty, but we're still going to flush that. So I'm not laying in a pool of brake fluid. And then there's one detail I wanted to show you. Because, see, you come up under here. Now this thing, oops, pause. Okay, film and do that same time. Now, see this hose up here? It needs to be twisted proper. See what I mean? You want to make sure it relaxes. If you got a kink in it, it's going to bust. This is a very important thing because then the brake line will bust again. But see, if I spin it, it spins up here. You don't want to tighten that first or you're going to jack up your brand new brake line. So let me get this connected and then we'll bleed it. That's all torqued. They have little copper washers you need to put in the right way or they're going to leak. Now, can I do that? Ooh! Well, what I want to do is turn the wheel all the way to the left and all the way to the right before I tighten it. First take was bad because the camera went to Pandora and started Bluetoothing the music because the key's on. This hose is all laced. Still haven't finished tightening, just that detail to make sure. I'm going to turn the wheels left and right, make sure this is okay. Then I will tighten these and put this back on, and we could document this. So I'll pause. No pinching. All steering travel. This is probably a little excessive. The mechanic would do it faster, but I'm kind of nitpicky about my stuff. Okay, so I could tighten both sides. The other side checked out. I don't want to be redundant. I cleaned the master cylinder out pretty much. There's still a little fluid in the bottom, so I don't get air in there. Because if I do this properly, I don't need a helper. It'll gravity bleed all 4 wheels. You just pour it and it'll go through. Water seeks its own level. Okay, I cleaned that. I'm environmentally friendly. I got my hoses here. My bleeder screws are open. I've tightened these down. I have not put those on yet because if I opened them, they're going to get air in them. So I'm going to fill the reservoir and then I'm going to pull those off and connect them. And then I'll just let it drip, 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 drip for a while. And we should have brakes without a helper. I got a guy coming just in case to help me bleed it, but I probably don't need him. You could do this by yourself. Safety and brakes is no accident. And take it from me. Now, if you look at this hose, look. See? It does not. It looks greasy, doesn't it? See, you can't tell. You got it. When you do your things, you check that right there. These things do crack. This is a 27-year-old car, so we're at 300,000 miles. I think I got enough my money's worth out of this truck. I paid $2,800 for, huh? Ooh, there's that shadow again. Now, while I was waiting for my parts, I noticed I need a haircut. The blower fan was not working properly. So I made sure I had voltage on this wire right here. It did have voltage there. Sometimes this resistor will go bad, but no, it's got the voltage and the ground was okay. The motor is toast. So That I could probably just go get from a junkyard. This is more my like speed control for the fan. I don't know, 91 bow tie. Anybody got one of these? You can keep it running. Look at this sucker. I changed front suspensions. Got to look at that motor. You can see it right through there. Come on. Got new front end parts. It's pretty much all. I've been sitting here filming. I could have this done and went to work. Yeah, I think I'll just wash it and go tomorrow. Oh look. Totally unrelated to auto mechanics, but it is kind of. This guy, the wheel fell off in this guy's pool. I think this is the grouchy dogs. And yeah, the dog got grouchy because this thing's that he chases isn't working, but I don't know where the screws went. They went in the pool somewhere, but there's a little hardware store across the street. I'm going to set him up. We'll be back. So as I'm waiting, I'll be working on this. We could throw this on this video too. Okay, we're just going to fill her up here. By the way, this is .3 brake fluid. That, watch, it'll just go right into the other reservoir. Let's fill it up. Look how clean it is when it's new. See the swill in there still? Can you see that? Are we holding that? It's a one-time take because once it's full, I'm going to actually kind of overfill it. Because I'm going to let one whole batch just go right through. Yeah, it's all fresh like a brand new car. You don't want to get this stuff on your paint. It takes paint right off. My suspension I painted, if you saw it's all peeling. Just need a can of spray. Okay, we're gonna start the bleeding process and connecting those lines. Okay, so the environmentalists will be up my butt for letting this stuff drip on the ground, but see I got a little tray down here, and you want to start from the farthest one from the master cylinder, although the backs are still full, so I didn't let them bleed, and we're not changing that hose. I'm still going to bleed them. Now this sucker's going to start dripping. I want to connect it. We got that on focus. I can tell it's not. I need 2 fingers for this. Oh, no, wait. All right, well, you get the idea. You need 2 hands, and a tripod would be awesome, and it's leaking, but I got a full reservoir, so cut. Hey Mo, it would have been a good idea to have the wrench handy. It's on the other side of the car, but I figure I'm filming this. See, it's still dripping a little bit. And then you can basically, water just washes brake fluid right off. So any spillage, rinse it off with a hose. And I'm not a focus. I'm trying to do this in film. There we go. You guys get the idea. You want to torque this properly. Oh, we're almost there. Now, I don't want to crank it. You got to get the other big wrench and back it up, or you're going to spin the whole thing, and it's just not good. Now, see, we're going to go like this, and I got to, you know what, I could watch this. I could just use my knee to hold that wrench, because we just don't want it to spin, and I'm trying to joggle a camera here. Okay, when you get the idea, I'm going to take 2 hands and crank it. So pause. Tight now. This thing, make sure not chafing against the frame. This is good. You wanted to, that sucker was pretty tight. I had to crank it. Now, as this is happening, that caliper is filling up. It's a pretty big caliper, so I want to make sure I put my tray under there, because it's going to take a while to drip. And if bad shot. If it doesn't start dripping, then I will have to have a helper, or I pump it a few times and then open it. If you've never done this before, then I'm explaining. If you've done it, it's brainless. You just, okay. See, I use these big wrenches because those are big bolts, but there's one thing. You don't tighten those that super. If you tighten them that tight, you're going to break them off. These are like for the bus. That I haven't made that video yet, but it's an old video. I'm converting to VHS to digital. But, you know, these are just snug. You don't crank them. You want to make sure you don't cross-thread that. Very carefully. It's like a stiff hose. It lines up in there. Here's the airplane. Oh, yeah. There we go. Got an airplane. Got the sun. And back over here. Make sure this is tight. Hopefully this is an 800 million mile long video. It's just a simple auto repair. Things happen. You'd fix them. And if I had to drop it off at the shop, I'd probably still be waiting. Guys would be sitting on the hood waiting for parts. Okay, so we're going to bleed. It is bleeding, actually. It should be gravity bleeding. Oh, look, the fluid's already dropping slowly. You know what? I have time to go run to the hardware store and get the parts for the Polaris. I'll leave the backs plugged up for now till the fronts bleed out. And then I'm going to just do all four at once here. Okay. That actually started bleeding faster than I thought. So the other side hasn't started dripping yet, but this one is, so I don't waste brake fluid. I'm not going to crank it tight. I'm just going to finger tight it and then make sure all of them drip, because I know once I open the back ones they'll drip, and then just run a whole fluid or reservoir. See, the fluid's coming out of this line clean, so I could shut it off here. Not quite ready yet. Sometimes you do have to pump it to get it started, but I think it was just, I spent a little time on this side, and I didn't quite, that one was a while ago. See this, see? It's not a consistent drip. It's getting the air out right now. See how it's not drip, 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 drip. It's not that steady drip, 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 like, you know what I'm talking about. It's starting to, the air's coming out though. See that? Yep. This is taking too long. It's already 25 seconds. Watch, we'll pause, and when it's drip, 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 I'll tighten it. On that fluid, the other side, it was starting to get a little low, and if it goes all the way down empty air, you're doomed. You got to start all over again. Just wanted to throw that in there. So how we looking? Wow, this one is still, it's been a little bit, see? There's a little bit of a delay. There's still air in there. Another one's coming, but it's slow. If the other side was going faster before I plugged it, right? My buddy's coming over. We could bleed it in 5 seconds. But I was just doing, you know, I'm doing other things at the same time. I'm just not just sitting here all day filming this video. I'm working inside too. Because on the other side, the reservoir went way down. It was almost getting empty. So those calipers are pretty big, and they need to fill up with air. At least on this design, they put it up on the top. Some cars, they put it on the bottom, which it won't work. You'll have a big air bubble. Only certain vehicles you could gravity bleed. They also make this thing you could just put right here, and it's called a power bleeder, and it'll just go, and you're done in 5 seconds, like when they build them at the factory. But multitask, you know, I got this thing going. There's a happy dog over there. Editing other videos at the same time, looking at shadows. I don't know, we can mow the lawn. Look, they're fully wrenching. We're changing out the whole power pole. Thank you, Southern California Edison. Look, he's up there right now. They're stringing up new wires. Those guys blew out a few years ago. I remember walking out there and it went poof, and the thing almost hit me. We used to be Rite Aid over there. It's DD's Discounts now. But yeah, they're going to do our street. They were supposed to do it on Friday, but it rained. So yeah, our power's going to be down all day. So we'll have to go on a location to film. Now we're cooking with gas. I stepped on the pedal just a little bit and it peed out, and then it just started going. It had a bubble like trapped somewhere. That's how it should bleed when you're gravity bleeding. Because if you're standing around for hours, your fluid's going to drain out. That's going quick. Oh yeah, see, the fluid's lowering. It's almost to max. Okay, that one's looking real good. Pinch him off. Turn the hose. Ah, this guy, he was dripping before. Maybe he still has some air in him. Let's see what happens. This thing should just start bleeding like crazy. Bleed. Bleed, why don't you? Oh, here it comes. Yeah, there it goes. Now it's going really fast. There was some air in there. You see that? There's still a little bit of air. Let's give it a 47. Okay. Ready to tighten and test brake pedal, sir. Oh. Ooh, that's nice and tight. Oh, it's all tight. Yeah, That's way better than nothing and almost hitting the car in front of you early this morning. We got 13 seconds to the pit stop. Come on. He's good. He's on it. He's on it. He's on it. Mark Martin lost the race. It took him all day to change brake lines. The race ended about an hour ago.